brief here. Our expectations are to throw at our opponent, and every snap we don't want to give up a yard. As a matter of fact, if they complete a pass, then we're jarred up. So anyway, we're going after them, and we don't. Like I said, it's going to be high expectations, and we're coaching them at that high level. We've got Jordan Leslie new on our staff this fall, and as a group, I think we're coaching these guys to be tough-minded, and with the mentality, with the hungry mentality defensively that there's not going to be any bend and break mentality with this group. So anyway, we'll just get started with questions.
How did you think the defense did today in the scrimmage? I know you wanted to see more effort and consistency in effort.
Yeah, I think early on probably okay. We with Trayvon being out with the rolled up ankle, I think our front guys get into a rotation. That's one thing we've got to continue to work on. Is we don't have the depth that we maybe want on the inside guys, and so they got a little worn down, and that's the nature of our offense. Is it wears out a defensive line because they're having to defend 53 and a third yards. They're having to go sideline to sideline, and so defensive lines get worn down. And we didn't substitute much today. We kept, for a change today, we let the ones be the ones, the twos be the twos, and trying to get them into game shape. And so I noticed a few of those guys kind of worn down a little bit. So that was probably what happened there.
What's the potential of the back end of your defense and maybe create more turnovers?
Well, we've got to, when we have opportunities, we got to make plays. There was 2 or 3 times today where we just didn't do our fundamentals exactly right. On the overtime period, we had a coverage. We have to protect the inside, and we didn't do it. So they got to play and ended up scoring on a 3rd and 10. We have got to first do the little things fundamentally right. And then we got to have some guys that kind of have a ball hawk mentality back there. We are, changing some few things up with the guys we got, and we're trying to kind of have some new wrinkles going into the season. What we're doing defensively right now, and Coach Brown is really good about doing this and allowing us to do this. We're banking reps for the season. So we have basically, here's our first 4 opponents, plus maybe some other teams like App State that are in the conference and Ark State that are in the conference. We kind of know what they do. So we're working a lot on things that we'll use later on in the season. And then as it gets 2 weeks before the first game, we'll back off and then start moving things towards the Austin Peay. So we're banking a lot of reps. We have a lot more calls in than we ordinarily would. We did have some mistakes with the second group, and that's the other thing too. We're trying to develop depth. So.
So about Junior and how we got North Carolina, what difference did he make to the defense?
Well, the first thing, Junior. The best thing about Junior, he's a great young man. Speaks 4 or 5 languages, and I know sometimes it's hard just to understand the one he's got. But he's a good, fun-loving guy. He's fit in great with the team. I noticed yesterday he was breaking the team down in the end zone before we practiced. It seems like he's really getting along good with the teammates. He looks the part. We're going to put him on the front of the bus so he gets off first. He's really strong, and I think he's an adequate pass rusher. We're gonna kind of move him around in some different spots when we get into a passing situation. And he's an older guy that's been through the wars before, and so we needed that on our defensive front at that position, particularly so till we have time for Uvakias to come along, being a redshirt freshman, to Webb to come along. We have some young guys, and we needed an older guy there to give them time to develop and mature for their own good. How we got him, I'm trying to remember the exact situation. I didn't even know that he wasn't coming back. Junior's an extremely principled young man. Honesty is really important to him, and something had happened at UNC that didn't go over well with him, and he sucked it up, finished the season with them last year, and then after the season let them know that he wasn't going to be back, And I had recruited him out of high school and gotten into UNC when I first got there. And so the relationship that I had with his people that raised him, I don't know what you call them, benefactors or whatever, the people that raised him over in South Georgia, and I didn't even know about it till like March. So he had already told him he wasn't coming, so found out about it and kind of stayed in touch with him, and he's decided this was the best place for him.
Be a bona fide pro prospect.
I think yes, to make a real short answer, yes, in a certain system. I think he's a 3-4 end tackle guy. He's a 4-eye and a 3-4 type NFL defense, or maybe growing to a pass rush 3 technique, and so that's what I think he is. But I'm not, I'm not an NFL guy, so.
Were you able to move Lewis back from defense being to a linebacker?
Well, that's the other part of it. That enabled us to go back. We were trying Terrace at bandit because we knew we needed a bandit, and that allowed us to move Doc to bandit and Terrace back inside, which added multitudes of depth to our linebacker position.
Junior makes our defense better then.
A lot better, sir.
Coach, what about your defensive back position, especially Jalen Harris and Cam Milton? What do they bring to the team?
Well, right now they're both competing really hard. That's the thing that we're asking our guys to do, just to go hard. And then if they'll do the right things, that's a bonus. Like I said, we've got a lot of stuff in right now, so we're working on all these different things and all the different looks. So we're kind of preparing for the first 4 or 5 games. Those guys have some experience, and so that's been a tremendous thing. Last year we got out there and really didn't have a corner that really had an experience playing any of the systems. So we should be better there.
What about the progression Jalen has made at that position? Going from quarterback in high school to wide receiver his first year here to now playing on defense. How has he transitioned well?
Well, he's transitioning well. I know I'm an impatient person. As you could tell the way I came up here and started the deal. I mean, it's for Jalen, if he makes a mistake, I have to go back and remember that this wasn't him. The same thing with Robert Johnson. These were guys that 16 months ago or whatever, 14 months ago, they weren't playing these positions. So I'm expecting perfection out there right now. Like the Lou Holt saying, if you shoot for stars, you might get the moon. Well, we're shooting for the stars. And so, anything that's not perfect, we're probably not as happy as we ought to be with it.